Senior Ditch Day by Matthew Nicholson. Interior Meadowlark Nursing Home. TV room. Day. Various elderly residents assemble around the TV in the warm yet sterile senior care facility. Ruth, 70s, and her two minions, 70s, play poker, but instead of offering chips, they use multicolored medications in tiny paper cups as their senior citizen currency. Ruth pushes a paper cup to the center of the table.
I raise you 3 greens.
The two minions throw their cards down and fold. Ruth pulls in her winnings and pops one of the meds in her mouth. Gwen Wiley, 70s, resident troublemaker, rolls her best friend Iris Fogg, 70s, demure, into the room in her wheelchair. Gwen snags the TV remote from the sleeping hands of Harvey, 60s, silver fox.
Hurry up, Gwen, it's almost 4 p.m.
Gwen hurriedly flips to the local news station as the handsome young weatherman Hudson Blake starts his segment. Harvey suddenly hacks a cough and jolts himself awake.
Hey, lady, not this again. I was watching that. Get your rocks off somewhere else.
Ruth and her minions shuffle their walkers over to the TV and take their usual seats.
You know the drill, Harvey. The bridge club gets the TV at 4, and that's my seat. Kindly move before my greens kick in.
Harvey gets up for Ruth to sit down. He takes an empty seat next to her.
Talk to me like that again, Harv, and I'll tell your son that those credit card charges from a so-called OnlyFlans website weren't from your teenage grandson.
Iris sighs, turns off her hearing aids, and stares at the TV.
Anyone tell you how beautiful you look today, Gwen?
Save it for Josephine.
Hudson stands in front of a 7-day forecast on the TV.
Why can't my granddaughter marry a smart, handsome man like that? Instead, we got Steve.
He'd make a handsome couple with my daughter.
My daughter could never land someone with a tuchus like that. My grandson could, maybe. He teaches yoga Pilates.
On the TV.
Oh, we're in for a rare treat tonight, stargazers. If you find the perfect spot, you may just catch the aurora borealis this far south. This is truly a once-in-a-lifetime event. The natural phenomenon will be taking place outside the city after sunset. See it here tonight, or you may never see it again.
Back to scene.
It's finally happening.
Gwen jumps for joy, but it looks very much like someone slowly standing up and raising their fist in the air.
Iris, did you hear that? Or did you turn your hearing aids off again?
Iris notices Gwen talking and turns her hearing aids all the way up. At first, it's all noise, but then it stabilizes. Finally, Iris hears familiar footsteps.
Incoming.
Gwen quickly turns off the TV and sits back down next to Iris. Nurse Johnson, 40s, takes nobody's crap except her patients, clops into the room in her Crocs, rolling a refreshment cart with the residents' nightly pill cups. Ruth leans over to Iris to fill her in.
Gwen's having a fit about some meteorological event, the aurora borealis, I think.
I know that look, Gwen. Please don't give me that look. It never ends well for me.
Nurse Johnson comes by with plastic cups of water and their medication.
Operation Breakout is a go. I've got a plan, but I need your help. All of you. Make sure not to swallow your sleeping pills, okay?
When Nurse Johnson isn't looking, Gwen spits the meds onto her hand. She holds her hand out to Iris's mouth. With a plop, Iris spits her own into Gwen's hand. And Gwen goes around the room collecting the moist pills. Harvey's dentures fall into her palm, too. She brushes them off, pops them back into his mouth, and pats his cheek.
So, here's the plan.
Interior Meadowlark Nursing Home, Gwen's room, night. The room is sparse but punctuated with hallmarks from Gwen's life.
First, I'll call my daughter for our nightly check-in so she doesn't worry. Then I'll gather my things.
She takes her phone out of her purse and calls her daughter. It goes to voicemail.
Hi, Stacy. It's Mom calling at our usual time. Sorry to miss you. I'm sure you're busy. I'm too tired for any hijinks tonight, so I'm heading to bed early. Talk to you tomorrow. Love you.
Gwen hangs up the phone with a grin. Across from her bed is a painting of the Northern Lights. Gwen takes it in.
I finally get to see the real thing, Sydney. On my terms.
Gwen excitedly and carefully packs up an old picnic basket with a blanket, a bottle of champagne, and an ornate urn from her dresser. She opens the top drawer and pulls out an old leather glasses case. She flips it open to reveal a pair of sunglasses and a worn photo of her husband, Sidney Wiley, in uniform, wearing the glasses in front of a World War II plane.
It's now or never, my love.
She snaps the case closed. Interior Meadowlark Nursing Home, Iris's room, night. Gwen sneaks into Iris's bedroom and shuts the door.
Next, I'll need to collect Iris.
She gets Iris dressed for their adventure, bundling her up in a coat and into her motorized wheelchair. Gwen places the basket safely in Iris's lap. The champagne bottle peeks out of the corner.
Be careful. Precious cargo.
The bubbly? You know I'm allergic. Oh, Sydney. Hi. What's he doing here?
You already forgot the plan?
Plan? What plan?
Gwen shakes her head and wheels Iris out of the room. Interior Meadowlark Nursing Home, TV room, night. Harvey lounges at the poker table playing solitaire.
This is where you four come in. We need a distraction. A big one. I'll leave the creative details to Ruth.
Ruth and her minions circle Harvey with their walkers like hungry sharks. Ruth stops behind Harvey and starts massaging his shoulders.
Back off, you can't have him. He's all mine.
Ruth squares off with her minions, putting herself between them and Harvey.
No, please, you can't have him.
Nurse Johnson steps into the room, perplexed.
Keep Nurse Johnson and security guard Jerry busy while Iris and I slip out.
Ladies, this is Harvey we're talking about. Come on now.
They just don't understand what we share. He doesn't even need his little blue pill when he's with me. Do you, Harv?
The minions gasp. A slap fight breaks out between them. Nurse Johnson reaches for her shoulder radio.
Yeah, Jerry, I'm gonna need security on the 4th floor. There's a cougar fight in progress. Repeat, a cougar fight is in progress.
Ruth tries to break up her minions, but they turn on her, letting out decades of pent-up anger.
Girls, wait, there's a simple solution here. You think you can handle all 3 of us, Harv?
The 3 of them pounce on Harvey. He grabs his chest.
My ticker!
Interior Meadowlark Nursing Home, hallway continuous. Gwen and Iris sneak past the TV room as Harvey clutches his heart. Harvey winks at them and waves them on. Nurse Johnson rushes to Harvey's side to take his pulse.
Then we're home free and free of the home.
Gwen takes a sharp turn and Iris's wheelchair scrapes the wall.
Watch the paint job.
It's going to be nothing but us and the Borealis.
Iris hits the brakes on the chair.
We're gonna get in trouble for leaving.
Gwen bumps into Iris's chair.
What are they going to do? Call our kids and tell them we ditched?
Gwen tries to push the chair, but it won't budge.
I'm not going anywhere until you tell me what's so special about a few electrons smacking into the Earth's atmosphere. What? I know things. Fine, I looked it up on Ask Jeeves. I asked Jeeves.
Sydney said it was the only beautiful thing he saw in the war. On our honeymoon, he promised to show me one day. He died before he could make good on it.
Iris rolls her chair forward and clocks security guard Jerry, 40s, tough guy, soft heart, watching a basketball game. She quickly backs her chair out of view. Nurse Johnson's voice barks over the radio, and Jerry jumps up from his chair.
I've subdued the cougars. No need to assist on the 4th floor, Jer.
You sure you're all good? I was just on the way up.
Depends on whether I need to change Harvey's depends.
Jerry sits back down and kicks his feet up. Gwen shoots Iris a worried look.
So much for your plan. We'll never make it past him.
We have to. I have a promise to keep.
Iris nods knowingly.
Help me out of my chair so you can make a break with it. I'm sundowning anyway, Gwenny. I won't remember it.
I'll remember it for us. And I'll tell you about it every time you forget.
She helps Iris onto the ground with great care.
You're coming back, right? You can't leave me here alone and chairless. I lost Arthur and I got through that, but I can't survive without you. And I really love that chair.
The widows pinky promise arthritically. Their wedding rings glint under the harsh fluorescent lighting.
I promise that I'll be back in time for breakfast to hear you complain about how you don't like your eggs, even though you order them runny side up every time.
Okay, hurry up. The fog's setting in.
Gwen jumps into the chair with the basket in her lap and nods at Iris.
Help! I've fallen and I know y'all don't have liability insurance in this place.
Jerry tears himself away from the game and bolts to Iris's aid. Gwen floors it past him in the motorized chair. Jerry manages a double take. Exterior parking lot night. Hudson Blake and his cameraman set up a shot of the foggy sky outside their news van. Gwen bursts through their shot in the chair, leaving a trail of sparks in her wake as she rolls down the hill. Gwen throws her hands up like she's on a roller coaster. The chair stops short, and she grabs the basket so it doesn't tip over. Gwen cautiously presses the controls forward towards the grass. Hudson jogs after her. Exterior meadow, continuous. Gwen slowly wheels into a gorgeous meadow lit by the northern lights. The chair sputters to a stop. It looks as if it's seen some things along the way, especially better days. Gwen ditches the chair, spreads out a blanket on the damp grass, and opens the picnic basket. She lovingly places the urn down and pulls out the glasses case, tracing her husband's face in the photo. She looks up at the sky.
I just know you pulled some heavenly strings up there to put on this big show for me on our anniversary. Couple decades later than promised, but we're here, aren't we? So, that's what they mean by breathtaking.
She pops the bottle of champagne, spilling it all over herself and the blanket. She lifts the bottle to the sky.
To us.
She takes a sip. Gwen puts on the sunglasses, opens the urn, and pours out the ashes. They take to the wind, and Gwen smiles. The swirling colors of the aurora borealis dance on the sunglasses as she lays down to take in the sky with awe. Hudson Blake trudges through the windy meadow towards Gwen. He shakes his wet shoes and accidentally walks into the cloud of Sydney's ashes.
Sorry to interrupt the show, but what did I just walk through?
Gwen bolts upright and takes off the sunglasses. Hudson looks at the empty urn, horrified.
The Hudson Blake? I'd know your voice anywhere. My best friend Iris and I watch you religiously in the home.
That's awfully kind of you both.
I've been waiting years to spread my husband's ashes during the aurora. Thanks for the tip.
Gwen hands him a handkerchief. He takes it.
You've got a little Sydney on your face, dear.
Oh, thanks.
He scrubs his face and tongue with the handkerchief.
I'm ready to go home now. Can I get a jump? The battery died on the chair. I just couldn't miss it, you know?
Hudson looks at the busted-up wheelchair.
How about I give you a ride?
And make the day of every lady in my nursing home? Absolutely. I'm going to hold this over them forever.
Hudson helps her up and Gwen winks at the sky.
Thanks, Sid.
Exterior Meadowlark Nursing Home, day. Police cars sit outside the building with their lights on as the sun comes up. Interior Meadowlark Nursing Home, TV room, continuous. Hudson makes a show of carrying Gwen into the room. The Bridge Club and Harvey drop their jaws.
My God, you're right. He is handsome. I get it now.
Gwen's daughter Stacy, 40s, loves her mother, hates her mischief, leaps from her chair to Gwen's side, checking to make sure she's all right.
Too tired for any hijinks, huh? What were you thinking leaving in the middle of the night? You had me so worried. What would Dad say? I don't know what all the fuss is about. I told you I was going to spread your father's ashes one day, and he would have told me to pack a blanket, which I did, Stacy. I would have come with if you'd told me. Daddy loved you so much.
Hudson sets Gwen down next to Iris. Stacy swings her arms around him.
Thank you so much for bringing her back home. I don't know what's gone into her.
It's no problem. Sorry, I pun when I'm uncomfortable. She got your father all over me.
Stacy retrieves a lint roller from her purse. She tries her best to brush Hudson off. It's hopeless.
I've got a great dry cleaner. Let me get your number.
Hudson plugs his number into Stacy's phone and smiles.
It's always a pleasure to meet a fellow stargazer, Gwen. I hope I meet a wife one day who'll give me such an incredible send-off.
I plan on being stuffed into fireworks and shot off on the 4th of July.
I'm going to be part of a coral reef. Visit me anytime.
Iris sulks in her chair.
You moved on from Sydney awful fast, Gwendolyn.
It's been 8 years, and don't be like that. I'd like to introduce you to Hudson Blake, the weather bay, as the kids say.
Hudson blushes and takes Iris's hand to kiss it.
Go on. Propose.
I'm too old for you, but I do have a younger brother.
Ruth's minions line up with pens and paper for an autograph. Ruth pushes them out of the way with a Sharpie.
Could you?
Hudson goes to sign the paper, but Ruth pulls down her blouse a bit. He laughs and signs her breast. He tries to hold back his laughter as Stacy mouths, "Wow."
You're kind of a big deal on the 4th floor. I'm forbidden from calling even close to 4 o'clock. And if there's a major storm and you're on all day, forget it.
We'll have to get you down to the station, all 3 of you. When there isn't a blizzard, of course. Let's give the other ladies something to talk about.
Iris beams, holding Gwen's hand.
Did you have a good senior skip day, Gwenny?
The best. But I've got some bad news about your chair.
Fade to black.